What's up, everyone? Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every single day, we're coming at you live from our beautiful studio here in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. Today, we have an exciting show for you. We got a lot to talk about. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are to be regulated as casinos. This is in the UK. Ripple scores a massive win. Also, we have other Ripple news as they have purchased Medico, a institutional custodian. What does that mean for Ripple, for the XRP token? We're also talking about another project leaving and migrating to Solana. Is Solana the dark horse of the next bull market? We have that and much, much more. But first, I'd like to introduce you to a very special co-host, my man Forrest. Forrest, how you doing, my friend?
What's up? Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for joining, man. Are you wearing purple in honor of Solana?
No, this is blue. It's just coming through as purple, actually. But
got it. Let's say Solana or Polygon, either or. We got news on both. But before we get into any sort of news, we'd like to first give a huge shout out to channel sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. They are sponsoring this show and every show this week. Cam's Blue Wire Tech provides your business with scalable IT solutions so you can focus on new revenue streams for your business. If you'd like more information, visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. So, Forrest, I'd like to start off with, first of all, my apologies yesterday for leaving you with the crazy man, Robin. But it's just going to be me and you again, bro. It's like the good old times, you know, from a couple of weeks ago. All jokes aside, man. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate all your time, all your effort, all your help. We love having you on. And so, guys, if you like having Forrest on, make sure to hit the like button. Also, if you're new here, say hello. Let's personally welcome you and properly pronounce your name for once. Now, Forrest, what are your thoughts on gummy bears? Like gummy candy, you know, gummy worms, gummy bears, those like peach rings, any like candy? You a fan?
Yeah. Look, I try to stay away from them, but look, if they're there, I'll probably indulge. I've heard the sugar-free variety is very dangerous, and you want to stay away from those. But yeah,
like what's the
pretty good.
If you're gonna eat candy, what's the point of not? It's like going to the restaurant ordering dessert, and it's got no sugar. What's the point? Now, Forrest, you said if it's in front of you, you'll eat it. Well, what if this was in front of you? Mac and cheese gummies. Would you eat this?
Absolutely not.
No? Why?
Why?
Like the best of
No,
both
I feel
worlds,
like those are like you'd put those in a candy dish when you have guests over to like prank them. Like they think they're getting peach rings or apricot gummies
or if you have guests over that you don't want them to stay for long, you put these out so they get the hint.
Right. I think you're a psychopath.
Oh man. All right. Let's get into we got a packed show. We only have Forrest for an hour. So we're gonna get this thing just going right off the bat. Let's take a look at the crypto markets. Where are we today? We are sitting at 1.12 trillion in market cap for overall cryptocurrency, with volume coming in at $30 billion, pretty low. Just to give you some perspective, when the FTX debacle happened, we saw volume go north of $200 billion. And we're currently sitting at 30. Bitcoin has been ranging. It's below that range currently just by a smidge. It was ranging between 27 and the higher end of 29K. We are currently trading below 27K. We'll get a Bitcoin chart here in a second. But Bitcoin dominance is at 46.4%. We saw it get as high as 47.2, 47.3%. But we saw the meme coin rally, the meme coin season, right? People pulling money out of Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of the top altcoins, moving them into more speculative assets like meme coins, like Pepe. And so do you think that's part of the reason why the Bitcoin dominance has fallen for us? Because we know this meme coin craze, this big run up and big, money pouring into these meme coins came from within the ecosystem, not from retail money coming in brand new.
Yeah, I do think that Bitcoin's probably shedding a little bit of dominance. It's still up overall, but it's shedding a little bit of dominance to the meme coin craze and the layer ones and layer twos that these meme coins are on. So predominantly Ethereum. Ethereum's held up pretty decently. If you look at the ETH Bitcoin ratio, it's, over the last couple of weeks, it's up. So yeah, I think we're also starting to see volumes in we're starting to see a little bit of an NFT run. What could be the beginning of an NFT run? We're seeing NFT volume pick up a little bit, so that's really interesting. But overall, I think. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin had just ranged to the top of its dominance range, and now we're starting to see it shy away from that resistance a little bit. So overall, pretty healthy, I think.
Speaking of Bitcoin, $26,900. Forrest, before we move on to anything else, so Bitcoin is down about 0.5% over the last 24 hours, 1.6% over the last 7 days. I'm actually going to pull up CoinGlass. We're going to take a look at how Bitcoin's been performing over the last few weeks. We're going to go to where data. Nope, where'd it go? They changed this. Interesting. Okay, so they changed this platform. All right. Anyways, why don't we take a look at a Bitcoin chart, and I'll pull this up as you do it. 29.6. Are we planning on hanging out there for a while, or are we seeing some sort of kind of like, the slingshot being pulled back? Or are we getting we keep getting this little pullback, and then eventually we're going to shoot, or we're going to shoot up, we're going to shoot down? What are the charts saying?
Yeah, I think we got really nice support at 26, it's like 25.8, and we saw buyers come in with some real demand there. But where I think buyers are more likely to come in and cause a real sharp bounce and potentially move us into a last leg of this bear market rally, or at least a really strong bounce, is around 25K, because 25K was our resistance for so long, and we really haven't back tested it as support. We don't have to back test it as support, but it's a level that, look, if we get acceptance back into that range, and we pull up the charts in there in a minute, I'll kind of talk to this a bit. But we get acceptance back below 25K, that's kind of a bearish sign. But if we hold it and the demand comes in and we get support there, that's actually pretty bullish and could propel us up to 30K and above.
Okay. I think why did they change? Why did you guys change this? This is terrible. So let's take a. Okay, so here we go. This is from CoinGlass. So this is Bitcoin's weekly returns. We saw a 4 consecutive weeks to start the year, up 3%, 21%, 8%, 4.5%. We've seen more green weeks. We've seen some massive green weeks. And this week, we're pretty flat. We saw 5.5% decline last week. If we go over to the monthly returns, we saw for the first time ever, Bitcoin 4 consecutive months to start a year in the green. And we are on pace to go negative in May. We've seen some big green months in the month of May. We've heard the saying, sell in May, go away. Do you subscribe to that idea? Sell in May, go away. Or you think that's all just, just jibber jabber?
Look, I mean, Bitcoin is considered a risk asset by most. I know that's kind of been shifted around. Like, I don't think it's necessarily, going to be 100% correlated with S&P 500 all the time. And I don't think it's going to be correlated with gold all the time. I think it's going to shift back and forth because it's its own thing. But we've seen some strong correlation with risk assets before, Bitcoin correlation with risk assets before. And if we look at the S&P 500, those 2 months, I believe September and May, are like the worst performing months for the S&P 500. So there is some seasonality here. So we could definitely see Bitcoin perform poorly in May. Sell in May and go away. I mean, look, I think that's a little bit hyperbolic in the sense that, don't sell everything, like just sell everything and go away in May, and then you get like a 3 or 4% decline compared to the rest of the year. I don't think, people should just be selling and buying completely seasonally. I would more, subscribe to the belief of the 4-year market cycle for the Bitcoin halvings. And if you're going to look to trade seasonally, do so on a 4-year cycle rather than just, any given month like May or September.
Okay. Before we get into the Bitcoin chart, I just want to get something out of the way. So this like sign here, okay? As soon as I got into the studio today, I heard crickets. I was like, wait, Rocco's not in the studio, so what's going on here? And there was a cricket in the studio. So I use this like sign to kill the cricket. So what I'm trying to say is, don't let the cricket die in vain. Hit the like button, just like I hit the cricket with this like sign. Make sure to like the video if you like the content. And Forrest, if we can, my friend, take a look at the Bitcoin chart. I know you mentioned the ETH Bitcoin chart. If you want to go over that instead, feel free to do so, or we can go over both, whatever you'd like.
Yeah, we'll kind of rapid fire here through ETH, Bitcoin dominance, and then Bitcoin in general here. I'll start out with Bitcoin dominance, and this is what we're talking about, where Bitcoin dominance kind of topped out here towards the top of its range at around 49% dominance, and now it's kind of pulled back. This whole resistance range, we're towards the bottom of it. So if we start to see Bitcoin re-enter towards into this overall range, that would be bullish for altcoins. And not necessarily bearish for Bitcoin. It just means that altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin for a period of time. And it wouldn't be that unrealistic to see a rotation back to the bottom of this range and maybe even back up, right, as we go into the next halving. It's tough to say, but as long as we're in this range, I don't think it's smart to fade the support or the resistance. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Bitcoin dominance trickle down a little bit, even just to the midpoint, if it ends up going back up above this range. So that's Bitcoin dominance. Part of Bitcoin dominance is its relationship with Ethereum. So I'll go to the ETH Bitcoin chart here. This chart's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Let me I had light mode on a second ago, so let me just kind of show you what I'm thinking on ETH Bitcoin. In general, I do believe that Ethereum over a long period of time will outperform Bitcoin based on structural flows, but we actually got some news today that is super bullish for the structural flows of Bitcoin. And that was the Tether news about them buying, I believe, 800 to 900 million per year based on their current revenue. We'll get into that in a second, but that's very bullish for the structural flows of Bitcoin. And that's one of the reasons why I've always opted for Ethereum over Bitcoin. It's because, you don't have that sell pressure, the miner sell pressure that Bitcoin has with Ethereum, right? It's like $25 million a day worth of Bitcoin that needs to be sold in order to cover the cost of electricity. Well, now you've got a chunk of that offset just by Tether's revenues and their Bitcoin purchases. It's not all of it. It's far from all of it, but it's still $800 million a year. That's significant, $800 or $900 million a year. So the signal for ETH to outperform Bitcoin or to take up some market share against Bitcoin would be for ETH Bitcoin to break this downtrend line. So we've been kind of in this downtrend since August of, let's call it September of 2022, right around the FTX crash, right? And we'd be looking for Ethereum to break that downtrend. If it continues to hold this downtrend, we could very easily see a scenario where we range down to that support. And then I don't want to spend too much time because I know we got a lot of news to go through, but I do want to show you guys some margin pressure levels for Bitcoin. We saw 25.8K hold perfectly. If I zoom in here, it'll be a little bit easier to see. And what we want to see is we want to see these wicks. We want to see that wick means it didn't spend a lot of time down there. Means that as soon as it dropped down, it didn't spend the entire day down there. Buyers came in right away to push it right back up. That is a good sign. That means there's actual demand in this market. If we throw on our long margin pressure levels from our most recent low, we see again 26,092. Buyers came in on that long 4x long margin pressure level. We throw on our risk reward levels, and this will be the last thing that I show here. We see that with our risk scenario, if you're looking to short and your risk scenario is you get taken out by a new high, and your reward scenario for your short is this bear market low, you can no longer get 2-to-1 risk reward any longer at 25.8. So if you add in all of those levels, the longs, the shorts, and the risk reward levels, you get 3 really confluent tight levels of support right there where we found Found support at 25.8. We're getting the resistance coming in around 27. I'd like to see us reclaim that, turn it into support, and push up higher. Otherwise, it does look like the next level down for us to test, if we break this 26K level, would be back testing the top of this range. So this prior resistance. And that would be the level that I'd be really interested in bidding pretty aggressively, to be quite honest. And I lied. I will show one more brief thing. We just have this 21-week simple moving average coming in, right? We retested it, found very aggressive buyers at around 20K. We've got this coming in. So we could definitely see a trip down to 24.5 to 25 if that 21-week simple moving average holds, right? We could find the buyers coming in again. So I do think that if we do see a larger correction here, we'd expect some bounces around 26 and 25 and 24.5. We start getting acceptance further down into the range, and then obviously that's pretty bearish, and we can go and test 18, 19, 20K again. But right now, that's the support zone, 24 to 26K, and I personally think there's a high degree of likelihood that it holds. If not, we should at least get a pretty solid bounce.
Cool, man. Let's what does the chat think? Do you guys think we're going to take another step down for Bitcoin, put a 1? If you think we're going to 30K, put a 2. 1, step down. 2, 30K. Now, Forrest, someone commented on the live show after the fact yesterday. One of our community members has been here for a while, and I wanted to share it with you. Okay, I thought it was funny. Here it is. Felix was not happy with your sentiment yesterday. He said, "You're never going to see 23K ever again, Forrest the bear." Makes sense since bears love forests. I'm sorry, I thought that was pretty funny. Look, part of the reason I'm showing this is A, because it's funny. Forrest bears, he made that connection. That was pretty funny. B, it's good to get different perspectives. And I actually, like, for example, on Twitter, I follow a lot of people I don't agree with. The last thing you want to do is just be in this echo chamber of people who are saying the same thing as you are or thinking the same thing as you are. You're not going to be a well-rounded investor, right? You want to get both sides. And so whether you agree with me or disagree with me or with Robin or with Forrest, it's important to take people's analysis, and it doesn't mean you have to follow what they say or what they do, but just hear them out. And so I thought that was pretty funny. All right, let's take now, before I move on to some of the other altcoins, you mentioned Tether, and here's the article on Tether, and it is pretty big. Tether says it will buy Bitcoin for stablecoin reserves using their realized profits. And well, this comes after they just released their Q1 profits, which was $1.5 billion in 3 months. $1.5 billion. Stablecoin issuer Tether will regularly buy Bitcoin for its stablecoin reserves using a portion of its profits starting this month as part of a new investment strategy. Tether said it will allocate up to 15% of the realized profits from investment, excluding any unrealized price appreciation of its reserve assets, to purchase Bitcoin, and will add the tokens to their reserve. Company will custody their own Bitcoin, and they won't source that out. Now, here's from BitcoinNews.com. This is kind of breaks it down. Last quarter, Tether made $1.48 billion in net income. That's $493 million a month. They plan on investing 15% of that, which comes out to $74 million a month, or over 2,700 Bitcoin every month. They are looking to buy. That's 3 times the amount that's mined per month. Now, I don't know about you, bro, but this just screams like, okay, we get a little bit of a demand, and this is going on for, let's say, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. We're going to see a massive run up of Bitcoin. I know in the past on the show, for us, you've shown a website where you can input how much money it would take to move an asset a certain percentage. Do you have that available? Can you kind of put some of these numbers in there and kind of give us an idea of what we can expect price-wise if this does follow through?
Yeah, so we're over here on Live Coin Watch. This just shows this kind of the total liquidity in the market. So you can see for Bitcoin here, you've got 432 million dollars to move the price down 2%, and 412 million to move the price up 2%. So this is just the bids versus ask spread. I'll zoom in here a little bit, right? So like total 2% plus or minus liquidity is around 800 million. So like, look, if you wanted to move the price of Bitcoin 2% to the upside right now, today, it would take $400 million, $409 million. This is going to fluctuate all day long. Yeah, so this, I believe, if you extrapolate their revenue, it's around 70 something million per month. And that equates to 800 or 900 million per year. So it's not something that is going to just like cause a ridiculous parabolic run, but it's something that over a long period of time begins to add up. It's the same argument that can be made with like the deflation of Ethereum and the lack of, the shift from proof of work to proof of stake, and you don't have that sell pressure. This is just on the buy side, right? So this gets added to the bid side liquidity or removed from the ask side liquidity. And all that does is it just tilts the books in favor of the price going up, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean like, it's going to send the price up 5, 10, 15% in a very short period of time, but it makes Bitcoin a more attractive investment over a long period of time because it's tilting the order book in favor of the price going up, in favor of the bids and against the asks, right? So this is a big deal. And this is something that it makes Bitcoin more attractive. And when you couple it with the Bitcoin halving, it's probably going to continue to push price upwards. Now, the one thing I will say is Bitcoin is largely backed by Tether, and Tether is largely or increasingly backed by Bitcoin. There is concern about, and I don't mean this as like a dig on Bitcoin at all. I think this is like very bullish for Bitcoin. But I mean this like in terms of Tether. We don't have 100% clear insight into Tether, and I'm kind of in the unpopular camp of like I personally think Tether might be too big to fail, and I think that there's I don't necessarily trust anyone in this space, especially stablecoin issuers, especially Tether. But I also don't think that they're going to go out of business. I don't think there's going to be a big Tether collapse like we've seen a ton of Tether FUD in the past. But it is something to be acutely aware of, is that this crypto space, not just Bitcoin, Ethereum and altcoins too, are largely propped up by Tether. And now we've got Tether largely, increasingly backed by Bitcoin. It's something to be aware of and something to keep an eye on.
Now, Forrest, you've been pretty vocal about miners creating sell pressure on an asset like Bitcoin. And you even said, hey, Ethereum moving to proof of stake, that's gone, I'm bullish. Does this news, does this cancel out your, I don't want to say fear, but your concern as far as the miners dumping and all that sell pressure coming from miners? Does that kind of even the playing field, this Tether news, or does that make you change your perception on Bitcoin and price action?
It definitely makes me more bullish on Bitcoin than I was before. 100%. You cannot deny the fact that this is bullish news because it's structural, increasing the structural buy pressure for Bitcoin over time. It's $700 to $900 million a year in structural buy pressure. You still do have the Mt. Gox distributions. You still do have the government distributions, the government sales that need to take place. And then the mining is, I believe, around 25 million per day, which is around, if I'm not mistaken, 9 billion in sell pressure. So, 6 to 9 billion in structural sell pressure for miners per year. This doesn't offset that completely, but it takes a really nice chunk of it out, and it's very net bullish for me. I will not deny that at all. That this is 100% net bullish for Bitcoin, in my opinion. Does it completely reverse my underlying thesis that proof of stake is more efficient and better for price action over a long period of time than proof of work? No, but it's definitely a really good step in the right direction, and it offsets a large chunk of that Bitcoin sell or that miner sell pressure. So this is great for Bitcoin.
You heard it here first. Forrest is officially a Bitcoin maxi. Just kidding, of course. I want to give you know what I'm also bullish on? I'm bullish on Super Chats, and I'm bullish on my boy Crypto Billy, $50. It's that Sin City family. Good people helping good people, with the exception of Gary Gensler, of course. Keep rocking, boys. Billy, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We love you. Also, guys, where the likes at, man? I know your favorite and Rocco's favorite, Robin, is in here. But I'm here. I'm here, okay? Me and Forrest are here. Could have taken the day off, but we didn't. If you like that we didn't take the day off, make sure to click the like button. It helps YouTube get the video out and the stream out to all the other people on YouTube, so we can pack this house, and maybe, just maybe, we'll open up the club. I did practice some dance moves.
We opened it up yesterday.
I know, you guys. Yeah, 350. That's good. Well, we're going to set our bar a little higher today. We're going 400. So if you want to see my new dance moves, help us get to 400 live viewers. Now, rest of the markets, ETH at $1,816. As Forrest mentioned, Tether. Now, Tether's market cap was down to the low to mid 60 billions. And we saw USDC market cap start to inch up towards Tether, and that has completely diverged. USDC market cap is under 30 billion. Tether market cap is over 80 billion. And this kind of goes to the point of Forrest saying they might be too big to fail. If something like Tether failed, it would, you think FTX was bad? Think if Tether failed, it would be FTX, Tether, Coinbase, Gemini, all going down essentially at the same time. BNB, $310. And then we have XRP saw a pretty nice rally off of the news that the judge denied the motion or the appeal from the SEC to keep the Hinman documents sealed. We have an article. We're going to talk about that here in a couple minutes. And then Cardano coming in at number 7, holding steady at a smidge under $13 billion market cap, followed by Doge, Solana, and Polygon, rounding up the top 10. Now, Solana recently just flipped Polygon. We do have a poll up. Who will have a higher market cap, Solana or Polygon, at the height of the next bull market? And there's a reason we asked that question, because there is a project that migrated from Polygon and decided to go with Solana. We saw Helium do that. We're seeing this new token do that. Solana's ecosystem is thriving. I don't know. We'll discuss that here in a minute. Crypto bubbles. Render is up 11.2%. Hex continues to bleed, down 18.5% over the last day. Pepe down 9.6%. And Axie Infinity up. We've seen a kind of a pump in metaverse tokens as well. Axie Infinity, technically considered a metaverse token, I guess, a gaming sandbox. And I think Mana was up as well. Taking a look at the last week, the Hex is down over 50%. Lido up 19.5%, Render up 18%, and then Litecoin up 15.2%. We do know the Litecoin halving is coming up in August. So, important to keep an eye on. Now, I want to go over this for us. I thought this was kind of intriguing, and I want to get your take on this. So, this is from Blockworks. The decline of crypto market liquidity causes and potential for recovery. Liquidity, and I'm going to make this a little bigger so everyone can read. Liquidity in the crypto markets has gone down in recent months by a lot. Gordon Grant, head of trading at Genesis Trading, noted that there has been a material reduction in spot market and linear derivative liquidity over the past year. He attributed the liquidity drop to the elimination of fiat on and off ramps, the pullback by various market makers, and the removal of certain incentive programs on major venues. So a few things here. Obviously, the fiat on and off ramps, we know with Choke Point 2.0, what they're trying to do. Signature is gone. Silvergate is gone. Those are massive on and off ramps. The pullback by various market makers, it's referring to Jane Street and Jump Trading. The two largest market makers, they have scaled down or are planning to completely exit the crypto markets. And then, of course, the removal of certain incentive programs. We look at something like Binance. After FTX went under, they did 0 trading fees on Bitcoin and then moved that onto Ethereum. They recently ended that. Yield is down on these major exchanges. So liquidity is taking a hit. FTX was close to 30% of USD volume and 25% of perp volume in mid-2022. And many smaller exchanges have also experienced troubles amid regulatory concerns. Meanwhile, market makers have downsized or left the space, so top of book liquidity has worsened. Now, Forrest, we understand, right? And liquidity is important in the market. Can you just explain why liquidity is important to the market and what potentially can happen to price if there is a lack of liquidity or liquidity starts to dwindle?
Yeah, more liquidity is usually better because it makes price action more stable, and it makes it so, like, let's say you often see this with meme coins as an example. You could see it, or any altcoin, right? You have an altcoin with a $300 million market cap, but if it only has a liquidity pool of $20 million, if you own more than $20 million in book value of that token, let's say you own $40 million of it, you don't actually have $40 million because you can't sell it because there's only $20 million worth of liquidity. This is the problem we saw with FTX, right? FTX had super high book values. They were using the book values of their assets, backing for customer funds, or saying that customer funds were backed, when in reality, there wasn't enough liquidity for that book value to actually be real. So more liquidity is better because it means that you are the actual cryptocurrency or whatever asset is worth more because there's essentially more liquidity. So when liquidity dries up, you have a situation where it takes less and less money to move the market in either direction. That increases volatility, right? So more liquidity is usually good. It's usually bullish, whereas lower liquidity is usually bearish. There's obviously it's not 100%. You can certainly have a lower liquidity environment, and you can see the token price go up. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to see a large crypto correction. But what it does mean is that we likely start to see an increase in volatility at some point, or when we do eventually get these large moves. They will be more violent. We could certainly be, if volume dries up, we could certainly just be bleeding downwards or sideways in a low volume, low liquidity environment. But then once something does come in to shake up the market, bearish or bullish, that's very likely going to move the market in a very violent way in a lower liquidity scenario.
I think that's a great way of explaining it. And I also want to mention as well, if we do see that happen and it's a move to the downside, we know how cascading liquidations work. One level gets taken out and then bam, drops it down, next level, and then people start panic selling. I want to do a different take on this though. We know back in early days of Bitcoin trading, there was something called the kimchi premium, right? And this was part of, I think Jane Street was doing this, and Sam was one of the people well known for this. That means they would arbitrage on different exchanges. So Coinbase had Bitcoin at $20,100. An exchange in South Korea had Bitcoin at $20,700. So people would arbitrage that $600, buy it on Bitcoin, send it over to that exchange in South Korea, and sell it for a $600 profit by doing absolutely nothing. With the liquidity starting to dry up, we are going to, in my opinion, what we should see happen is more gaps and variations in price of spot Bitcoin on different exchanges. Can this bring back arbitrage opportunities for investors? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Look, I'm of the opinion that the more efficient the market, the better. However, if you're really, really on top of it and you're a savvy individual, you kind of want a less efficient market because those lack of market efficiencies can be taken advantage of. I'd argue that overall, like the entire market right now being in kind of a bear market, there's a lot of altcoins that are just not reflective of their actual values, where the market is being a little bit less efficient, right? Like fundamentals have improved on a lot of coins and a lot of cryptocurrencies, but we have not had the demand, that we would expect in a bull market to really push those token prices upwards. So, more efficient. A more efficient market is just going to be a faster market. It's just going to more liquidity, more efficiency is going to mean that the market reacts quicker. And in a less efficient market, you're just going to have to be more patient. Look, do I think there's going to be, $600, $700, $800 spreads on Bitcoin in various jurisdictions? Probably not. I would imagine those will get closed pretty quick because we're in a much more popularized market and a larger market than we were when that stuff was taking place. But it's certainly possible. Regardless, though, I think there will be, opportunities that are similar to that in this lower liquidity environment. And if you're savvy enough and you're paying close enough attention to take advantage of those, you probably benefit quite a lot.
GameStreet Premium's coming back. But all jokes aside, you want more liquidity, the better. The more stable the markets are, less manipulation can happen. And so, will we see liquidity come back into the market? I believe so. Crypto is such an intriguing space for a lot, and we have so much news about some vast amounts of money being invested in companies that have ties to crypto, regardless and in spite of the regulatory issues we're having here in the largest capital markets in the world, which is, of course, the United States. We did have a $2 super chat from CritCats. What's my take on the whole Ledger fiasco? I will share that a little later during the show. Rocco, please remind me. Also, CritCats, please remind me as well. I'll keep an eye out for your chat. All right. Let's move on to, well, first let me ask you. Obviously, we're in Vegas, Sin City Crypto. I've lived here since 2004. We're known for our casinos. Now, Forrest, we've heard the term crypto and casino be put in the same sentence multiple times, mostly from politicians who try to brush crypto off as it's not an investment. It's a casino. And while we laughed at that and we said, haha, you're so funny, the UK is actually trying to regulate crypto as a casino. Believe it or not. Here's the article. I don't know why I did such a long pause, but there we go. UK Treasury Committee wants unbacked crypto to be regulated like gambling. A parliamentary committee in the UK wants unbacked crypto assets to be regulated as gambling rather than financial activity. The Treasury Committee's latest report compelled the government to treat crypto assets like Bitcoin and ETH as gambling instruments. The committee highlighted the risks to retail investors from the volatility associated with crypto trading. It's crazy. I could have swore we saw more volatility from the banking sector here. But anyways, the lawmakers argued that the potential use of such cryptocurrencies by fraudsters and money launderers poses a significant risk to consumers and the economy. The report compelled the UK government to recognize and regulate unbacked crypto as gambling instruments. This is a quote, with no intrinsic value, huge price volatility, and no discernible social good, consumer trading of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin more closely resembles gambling than a financial service and should be regulated as. How is gambling regulated? Just curious, right? So I've hit a couple jackpots here, and you fill out a form, and actually maybe it's a good thing that crypto is regulated like gambling, right? Because when I go to the casino here, when I go sit down, I don't have to figure out, well, which slot machines can I play? Which ones are legal? Which ones are not? Whatever's in that casino, I can sit down and play. And if I win money, I fill out a tax form and I pay a capital gains tax. All jokes aside, though, what are your thoughts? Like, we still have this narrative of crypto is gambling, crypto is a casino. Do you see why people think that, or you think people just haven't been able to move past that narrative?
So the problem with this is you just cannot, and this is the same problem I have with SEC. You cannot treat every cryptocurrency the same. Not every cryptocurrency is a security. There are some cryptocurrencies that should be regulated as securities. I'll go ahead and say that. Like there's probably some crypto, and I'm not going to say exactly which ones. I don't think it's Bitcoin or Ethereum. There's some cryptocurrencies that should be treated as a commodity. And there's some cryptocurrencies that I have no issue with being regulated as gambling devices or, regulated as, casino gambling instruments.
Meme coins.
Meme coins, like meme coins that truly have zero utility could probably be regulated as gambling instruments. And I wouldn't necessarily have a big issue with that. I think it'd probably even be a net positive for regulation and for the entire crypto space. You have the argument that, maybe meme coins are like, they're a brand and community utility, but I think the underlying issue here is there's a lack of clarity on segmenting cryptocurrencies and providing clarity on what cryptocurrencies constitute a security, commodity, gambling instrument, whatever. Because I think there's probably 4 or 5 categories within crypto that any given cryptocurrency can probably fit in, and they're not all made the same. Ethereum is not a security. Should not be regulated as a security. It should probably be regulated as a commodity. Or we should have a new basket or a new categorization for specific crypto assets that use gas fees to transact on a network, and those gas fees go to stakers and miners. Right, that should be its own categorization, but we shouldn't have everything lumped into the same basket of crypto and then try to fit that into gambling or fit that into securities or fit that into commodities, because it's just they're all so different. And I think that's the problem that all of these regulators are having an issue with.
Yeah, and there are and I agree with you. There are some cryptocurrencies that serve no purpose, and to be completely honest with you, ask yourself this question, you watching. Last time if you partook in this meme coin craze, you were gambling. Literally, you bought the token because you're like, all right, it's going to drop a couple zeros. I'm going to make, 1,000%, 10,000%, whatever the case may be. Like, that's gambling, because 9 out of 10 times those tokens are going to zero. And I've been there. So I agree. Some are casinos. And like casinos, we have winners and losers, and some winners I would like to say hello to. Some new, some not so new. Orange Bloods 21, Teeler, Crypto John Brazil, Carly C, Crypto Hands, and not Han Solo, but Mars Solo. To all of you, hola! Welcome to the channel, guys. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Also, Kryptonian1, and I see new crypto in here as well. Also, my ninja back. What's up, my ninja? So let's move on from gambling to not gambling, because they're about to win, and that is Ripple. Judge denies the SEC motion to seal the Hinman speech documents in the Ripple case. Rocco's got his XRP hat. He's ready.
Juicy.
He said very juicy in Italian. No, he said it in Italian.
Juicy.
Juicy. The embattled crypto firm Ripple notched a victory in court on Tuesday when a judge denied the SEC's motion to seal the documents that are tied to Bill Hinman's speech on cryptocurrency, where he pretty much said ETH is not a security. The SEC has tried to shield the documents and communications related to the speech, arguing at times that Hinman's speech reflected his personal views rather than commission policy. This is a quote from Judge Torres as she wrote this. They are judicial documents subject to a strong presumption of public access. Now, we know this is a massive victory for Ripple, so we're not going to speak on that, because Ripple's been trying to get this thing. They're trying to win this part of the case for a long time, because they think this has scathing evidence against the SEC's argument. Now, I want to tie this in, right? The SEC in here says personal views rather than the commission's policy. We've heard this more often than not over the last few weeks. The views are my own. Gary Gensler went and testified, and one guy even asked him, if you can't speak on behalf of the SEC, why are you here? And I think they're starting to do that because of this whole Hinman thing, right? You can't, like, how is the commissioner and the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, how does what he says not relate the position of the actual regulating body? That makes zero sense to me. So we know this is a massive win for Ripple. Forrest, you agree, right? That this is pretty big, and we're not lawyers or judges here, right? So we don't know the full scope of the case and all the little things, but we know this was a massive part of Ripple's defense. And with this victory, do you see a settlement or a flat-out victory coming for Ripple soon? I know you and Rob yesterday talked about Brad Garlinghouse stated 2 to 6 months is when he's expecting this thing to end. And what do you think that can do to the crypto market in general? We saw XRP go up 8% just off this news. What would XRP do? What would the crypto markets do if Ripple wins or settles in favor of them?
Yeah, so I think this would be bullish for the entire space, and I'll kind of explain why. To be clear, I think there's a lot of people in the camp that like, all right, Ripple's going to 50x if they win the case. I think Ripple will perform extraordinarily well if they win the case. I think that it will moon, it will be wild. But I don't necessarily like, it's already a very large market cap, guys. This isn't like a 80th ranked market cap token that can like 10x with the snap of a finger. Would we maybe see a 10x? Maybe, but like I want to drive home the point that like XRP is a large cap token, and like an overnight 10x is probably not realistic. Like 3-4x maybe with a win here, and then over a longer period of time, they have room and runway to grow and expand. With they have all this baggage behind them. Yeah, maybe they can continue to grow at a rapid pace thereafter. But I don't think it's like an overnight 50x or anything like that. I do think that this sets a Ripple win would set a really, really strong precedent for the entire crypto space. And one of the things that I think is slowing down the crypto space a lot is this lack of clarity and this worry from large institutions. You put yourself in the shoes of Apple. If you're Apple, you can't really buy Bitcoin or Ethereum. Yeah, MicroStrategy can because they're a smaller company compared to some of these industry giants, and you have Michael Saylor, who's full on Bitcoin maxi. But Apple can't realistically put Bitcoin on their balance sheet and then answer to their shareholders when there's still so much uncertainty in the regulatory environment, right? Same thing with Ethereum. Think about how many large institutions, if we get regulatory clarity, in terms of, Ethereum's not a security, Bitcoin's not a security, XYZ, all these different cryptocurrencies are not securities, and they're actually regulated as crypto assets, or there's just clarity in general around how they're regulated. That opens up the field for large amounts of money, large institutions, large financial institutions as well, to come in and provide, and to use and to move money into the crypto space. So I think it would be very bullish. I think it'd be good for the entire space, and probably what would kick off the next bull market, especially if the timing lines up with the halving.
Wow. Okay. So I was going to ask you, do you think it has the potential to kick off the next bull market? And you just answered that question. So go ahead.
Yeah. I think the more important thing is the Bitcoin halving. To be clear, I think that's the most important thing. But if you layer this on top of the Bitcoin halving, like an XRP or a Ripple victory, and that leads to regulatory clarity, or a path lays out a really nice path towards regulatory clarity. You layer that in with the Bitcoin halving, and all of a sudden you've got more. You've got people really, really wanting to move into crypto, and no reason not to.
And I want to highlight what Orange Bloods from our community said. I'm not in the XRP army, but it's an understatement to say the crypto market as a whole will be forever in debt to XRP Ripple for fighting the good fight. XRP army deserves to be appreciated. I've said this time and time again. Love him or hate him. If Ripple wins, or in my opinion, Ripple's going to win, or it's going to be a settlement heavily in their favor, and it kicks off the next bull market, you're still going to hate Ripple? You're still going to hate XRP? Whether you agree with what they do or not, I think that's out of the question. Also, with a space as new and as green as cryptocurrency, we don't have any landmark cases, right? You need some of these landmark cases to where the judges can look back and say, hey, something similar happened, and all this time and money and resource was spent. This is the conclusion they came to. This is what the judge ruled. We're going to take that into consideration as well. We don't have one of those yet. People say it was LBRY. I don't think the LBRY one is that. I think Ripple has a chance to be that landmark case that can forever shape the regulatory environment in crypto here in the US. I want to know what the chat, let's say Ripple wins the lawsuit, or they settle it. Let's say there's a favorable outcome for Ripple. In the first 48 hours, what do you think the price of Ripple or the price of XRP will be? Put your price predictions in there. First, within the first 48 hours of a favorable outcome for Ripple, what would the price of XRP go to? Forrest, you want to play along? What would be your guesstimate, your educated guess as what the price could be for XRP 48 hours after, either winning or settling in their favor? Hello?
Oh, I thought you were asking the chat. You're asking me?
Oh, I'm asking you as well. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were just specifically asking the chat.
both.
My bad. 48 hours 2x. And I think, you look at the market, the fully diluted valuations. It's at 44 billion. You compare that to Ethereum at 218 billion.
Yeah.
It would take a 5x to match Ethereum. So again, I don't think we're getting $568 for XRP. That would be like over 1,000x. That's or over 100x. Yeah, over. No, that'd be over 1,000x. No,
Yeah.
no way,
Yeah.
no way. We're not seeing $568 XRP, but we could see a 5x, maybe not in 48 hours, but over the course of like maybe a couple weeks, you could really see some speculation come in for XRP, and I think it's this is more on the bullish side, but China kind of chasing Ethereum and moving to a $100+ billion market cap could certainly happen. Yeah, so 5x, $2 to $3 tops. I see in there. So $2 to $3, maybe $5. But I don't see it going to like $40, $50, $60 or anything like that.
I don't think it'll get to over $1 within the first 48 hours. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, same. I think 2x in the first 48 hours would be phenomenal.
Which is, that's pretty massive for a top freaking 6 token. I mean, come on, let's face it here, guys. Let's be practical. Let's not, a 2x from a top 10 token in a bear market is freaking amazing, especially one that has 44 billion in market cap. All right, Forrest, we only got you for 10 minutes. I want to go over this news here. Now, I've recently become bullish on Solana, and I continue to become bullish on Solana as long as I keep seeing things like this happening. Render token rises 8% as community votes on proposed Solana migration. No, thank you. I don't want to subscribe. Render's network is up 8% over the last 24 hours after the community voted on this migration. Now, Render is currently on Polygon. The Polygon-based protocol is eyeing a migration to Solana. According to the proposal, the Solana migration was necessary because of, quote, future network growth. The project noted, quote, Render needs a high throughput, low latency blockchain for network settlement and node operation. Besides that, several Render users have complained about their experience on Polygon, citing its reorg tendency, centralization, and transaction fees as why the protocol should migrate. Now, this is why I put the poll in the chat. Who will have a higher market cap, Solana or Polygon at the height of the next bull market? I'm going to end it here in about 5 minutes, so make sure to put your vote in. But Forrest, how bullish are you more bullish on this versus when Helium migrated? And what does this say for Solana? And better yet, what does it say for Polygon?
Yeah, so a lot of questions there. So this is super bullish for Solana. It tells you what you need to know about the tech. People love to crap all over Solana, and with good reason, right? The two main things that Solana has going against it was that it was heavily VC backed, which is not in and of itself the worst thing in the world. Like, VC funds do play a role in the industry, and they do take on risk, and they provide capital so that projects can build. That's all fine, but the one in particular was like the Alameda, Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX connection, and how much of a role they played. That was obviously very, very bad. But a lot of that is now behind Solana. The other piece of the picture is the network not being as robust and going down and having outages, which is obviously very bad. Specifically, if you're concerned with decentralization and to be super clear, like, I think that a project can go, like, it's a spectrum and the needle can move. Like, just because you're centralized now doesn't mean you can't move towards decentralization in the future. And I do think that Solana is trying to move away from having outages and having to restart the network. And they haven't for a while, or they haven't had that issue for a little while. I think it's been a couple months now. Hopefully they won't have that issue again. But just because, like, at some point in the past, like, something's been very centralized doesn't mean that it can't become more decentralized over time. And I think Solana is on that path. And I do think that all these different layer one networks are trying to solve the same problem. They're trying to solve the scalability trilemma. They're trying to have a high throughput network that it has low gas fees and is very stable. And just a lot of these networks are working at the problem from different angles. Solana is very high throughput, very low gas fee, but it's not the most stable network right now. That's a problem that they are attempting to solve, and they've got infrastructure being built. I believe it's called Fire Dancer, which Jump Crypto is behind, which is going to be like a new node service thing that should make it way more stable. We'll see if that's actually the case. But this tells you, this move from Render tells you what you need to know. As it stands right now, they're willing to make the market, Render within this particular use case is willing to take that trade-off. They're willing to say, we would rather risk having some outages for our particular use case to be on a better, lower fee, more scalable network in the meantime, right? So that's what the market's demanding, right? Now, DeFi use cases are not, the DeFi use cases are happy to pay larger gas fees, and they want stability. Because if you're like a decentralized exchange and your network goes offline and you have like liquidations happening and all this stuff going on while the network's offline, that's devastating for a DeFi use case. And that's why you don't see a ton of DeFi on Solana right now. Right. So depending on the specific use case, there's certain use cases that will take that trade-off. And that's what Render's deciding here. And Solana is a very suitable layer one network for a multitude of a lot of these like far-reaching consumer-based use cases. So I think it's bullish for Solana, but I don't necessarily think it's bad for Polygon. A lot of people love to be on, like very tribalist and be on one side or the other. Like, I'm bullish on both. Like, people are like, you can't be bullish on Solana and Polygon, or one's better than the other. It's like, I'm bullish on both. Like, and people can hate me for that or being bullish on one, but I am bullish on both. Like, I think both are going to do well. If I had to answer the poll, I do think that Solana would probably be higher market cap in a bull market, but I'm open to the idea that Polygon would be. I would be pleasantly surprised if Polygon is. I own both. I'm bullish on both. Like, I don't like, they can both succeed in this market. I don't think that like for one to succeed, the other has to fail. But it's weird. Like, a lot of people feel that way. I don't know. I'm bullish on both. I think this is great news for Solana, and I also think Polygon's going to be just fine.
And I did just end a poll. 79% of people believe Polygon will have a higher market cap, while 20% believe that it will be Solana. My biggest, and I've said this before, and I've said it when, and I've come out and spoke out against Solana. I've said it's not reliable. It's not something I would invest in. I'm slowly starting to change my tune. I have been DCing into Solana. As information comes out, you're allowed to change your opinion. And I think if you're one of those people that doesn't do that or doesn't have the capacity to do that, you're doing yourself and you're doing your community a disservice, especially if you have a platform that gives that information. So for me, Solana is one thing. It's gotten this moniker of Sam Coin, but I think slowly, they put their head down. They're continuing to build. They're continuing to make partnerships. The network has been stable, hasn't gone down. And so they're slowly, I believe, changing that perception. My biggest concern, I'm not concerned, but my biggest question was, Solana might be the best investment, the safest investment as far as a top 10 token potentially doing a 10 or a 15x. My only question was, what would Solana's real top have been if we didn't get this manipulation from Sam via Alameda and FTX? Who knows? But that's just something that I kind of think about. Forrest, we know you got to get going here, my friend. We're going to let you go. Before we let you go, is there anything you'd like to leave us with? And if people want more Forrest, where can they find it?
You can follow me on Twitter at 00Forrest. You can go to the website Sistine.ai, Sistine like the Sistine Chapel.ai, to sign up for the Research Hub, where I put out a ton of research reports and opportunities as I flag them and research them, as well as get access to the indicators we use in the TA today. Otherwise, guys, this channel is super special. Sin City Crypto. I've said it for a while, and I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. This is going to be one of the largest crypto channels in the space come next bull market. It's growing at a very fast pace. It's always a pleasure to be on this channel and a part of this community. Thank you so much for having me on, and can't wait to come back tomorrow and Friday.
Amen to that, brother. Thank you so much for your kind words. We appreciate you, Forrest. And if you want to know why you should trust Forrest's research, right, and subscribe to his 1690, look at his decision he made. You know, he started coming on our show regularly. He hedged his bet with time with Sensitive Crypto when we're sub 1,000 subscribers. We're not where we want to be yet, but we're on our way. Forrest, thank you so much. We're happy to have you part of that journey, my friend. We will see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you again.
See you. Thanks for having me on. Peace, everyone. Bye.
Peace. All right. Let's talk more XRP. I got some more XRP news for you guys. Rocco, you might want to unmute your mic for these ones here because you already are unmuted. Perfect. All right. Let's keep this thing moving right along. Some more Ripple news. Ripple buys crypto custody firm Medico for $250 million. Now, you might be saying, hey, save some of that money. You might need it for the case against the SEC. But Brett Garlinghouse already said they've spent around $200 million. But good news is it is coming to an end soon. And this acquisition here is pretty big. And I'll explain to you why, okay? So Ripple buys custody crypto firm Medico for $250 million. Now, where the hell did my highlights go? Damn it. Huh? Gary Gensler took it? Okay, all right. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me pull up the article real quick, guys. And I had some highlights on there. And I'll show you some headlines as to why this is pretty big. Oh, I deleted the wrong one. Damn it. Okay.
In the meantime, I can give us some love to the chat.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, let me put my cam very quick. All right, guys. So I want to just say welcome to everybody. I got a list right here too. Pino, Gonzo, I'm my hero, and B Team Crypto. Matthew, I know I saw you before. Even the people that are not new, but they are here regularly. George, Ornelas, Gary Gensler, our favorites right here in the chat
Gary.
too. Everybody loves Gary. And to everybody else, hola!
Hola! All right. I think Rob is still in the air right now. Good for him. Hopefully nothing happens to the plane. I'm kidding.
Jesus.
I know we make fun of each other all the time, but I just want you guys to know, Rob and I'm not going to say love because he doesn't love me. I love Robin. He's a good dude. And the show, this show is not the same without Robin and all three of us and all four of us. And so I know we joke around a lot and say, oh, he's not here. But all jokes aside, Rob, we hope you're having an exciting time in Miami. He's actually going to be checking in with us over the next couple of days, tomorrow and Friday. So it's kind of like we're a news channel. We're going to have a reporter on scene. So at any point in time, we could patch Robin in, and he might be with a special guest. Maybe it's Michael Saylor. Maybe it's Kathy Wood. Maybe it's one of your favorite crypto content creators. So you're going to want to be here for that. Now, here we go. Ripple buys crypto custody Medico for $250 million. Blockchain firm Ripple has acquired Swiss-based crypto custody provider Medico for $250 million. The purchase will allow Ripple to expand its offerings by incorporating the technology to custody, issue, and settle tokenized assets. Medico offers customers crucial and secure custody infrastructure, allowing institutions to scale new business models in the crypto economy. Diversifying into crypto solutions will bring new revenue opportunities, Ripple said, adding that the acquisition is part of a strategy to broaden its presence beyond the U.S. and its uncertain regulatory landscape. Now, when I saw this article, I was like, I could swear I've talked about Medico several times on this show. And I'm like, I know they do custody, institutional custody, but where? And so I started digging. And I found a few headlines. Here's the first one. And by the way, Bitcoin Magazine, for the love of God, please fix, like, what is this? You're one of the largest media outlets out there for news. Please fix this. Like, who's going to be able to read that title? But it says the largest bank in the Eurozone to launch Bitcoin crypto custody platform via a partnership with Medico, and that's BNP Paribas. Then you have DZ Bank counts on Medico to offer crypto assets custody. Okay. Then you have VP of digital asset. So this is VP Bank. They also partnered with Medico. Okay. And then this is a massive one. German bank who manages over $428 billion to offer custody services for Bitcoin via Medico. So all of that is now going to be under the Ripple umbrella. Rocco, are you okay? So we know the narrative of XRP is they're the banker coin, right? They're not the people's coin, they're the banker coin. That's what a lot of the people who don't like XRP say. Does this move, because we know this is institutional custody, does this move to buy Medico, does it continue to push that narrative forward? Does it make them more of a institution banker coin? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
This is a good thing. The way is it's just a matter of time when the XRP or Ripple as a company is going to be adopted, and people are going to think more largely about this company. And we got to remember that, remind everybody that Ripple has been working on the background for years, even with a lawsuit here in the United States. Yep. And they always look forward to expand, to appeal to not only banker. Of course, there is a coin that is designed to work with banks to move money faster and more efficiently. But I think it's a matter of time when we're going to use some sort of service. We won't even realize that Ripple is behind. And so it's just a matter of time. Now, you don't like the company Nestle. You will never buy anything from Nestle, for instance, just give an example. But Nestle owns Bayer, like the pills, and it owns also banks, and owns, so it's so much
so you're saying
around, so you won't even realize.
So you're saying love or hate XRP, you might use them in the future without even knowing.
You will use it. Exactly.
You know, it's intriguing to me. This article talked about diversifying will bring new revenue opportunities, adding that it's a strategy to broaden the presence outside of the U.S. and its uncertain regulatory compliance. Now we know Medico is not, and I'm not sure if they operate in the U.S. I don't think they do. I haven't. And someone's saying audio back. Yeah, guys, we're gonna fix the audio. We promise we're gonna fix the audio. Some things change on our end, but we're gonna get that fixed for you guys. That is a promise. So for me, this whole Ripple thing is going outside of the US, they're going to make a lot of money with this. The percentage fee they take from custodying these institutions' crypto, this is going to be pretty massive. And is XRP a banker coin? I don't know. I feel like XRP came out to serve a purpose. The purpose was a payment rail. And on a mass level, the payment rail brings in a lot of money. It facilitates trade cross-border, which is what XRP is, cross-border payments. And so I kind of agree with Rocco. I think we're going to get to a point where XRP is going to have such an important role in the foundation and the payment rails and how money moves across borders in a new age of digital finance, digital technology, that you're going to be using it without even knowing it. And so as an investor of the XRP token, I think this is great. More use cases, the better. And especially when you go outside of just the US, you guys got to remember, just the US is the largest capital market in the world, but they're not the only market that serves cryptocurrency. There's hundreds of other countries out there that are even pro-crypto, and you have something like XRP kind of breaking that mold, growing cross-border, growing across the globe. So this makes me even more bullish on XRP. Also, if you're more bullish on XRP, make sure to hit the like button. I think there's a special box that opens up, a special mystery box.
I want to just also complete some of the thoughts that imagine if it was Ripple wasn't here today and somebody gets sued, and there is no company that can spend $200 million in legal fee. So now you really hate Ripple to be around? If it was no Ripple in existence? Yeah. Everybody will end up like library. Just saying.
Broke, out of business. I agree. Robin's doing some technical anyways, let's move on. Let's move on Let's move on to some other news here. Lightning Labs launches updated protocol to help solve Bitcoin's BRC20 issues, source from Cointelegraph. Bitcoin users have been given a possibly more efficient way to mint new assets on the blockchain after an updated. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think so. After on the blockchain, after an updated edition of the recently rebranded Taproot Assets Protocol was released by Lightning Labs. Lightning Labs criticized the current methods by which assets are inscribed on the Bitcoin blockchain, calling them, quote, particularly inefficient, and pointed to cumbersome protocols that write assets metadata directly into the block space. So when the Bitcoin transactions went through the roof and transaction fees outpaced the block rewards, a lot of people said this was a direct attack on Bitcoin from the BSV camp. Because a lot of the people, the guy that started Ordinals had ties to BSV, the developer ties to BSV. So they're saying they purposely did this, and we had even developers come out and say they could have inscripted it in a different way, but they chose to do it in a way that takes up a lot of block space and a lot of metadata. And so apparently this piece of news, right? This integration through Lightning is going to help bring the Bitcoin network back into equilibrium. Is that something the miners are going to want, though? Is that something the miners are going to want? Because we know the transaction fees are probably going to go down, right? We have the halving coming up, so less Bitcoin is being mined. I don't know, something interesting to keep an eye on. The Taproot Assets Protocol is designed to operate maximally off-chain in order to avoid the network congestion. They could soon also integrate BRC20 assets into the Lightning Network with wallets, exchanges, and merchants. So this whole Bitcoin layer 2 smart contracts, this thing's got some legs. It's got some legs, and if we go on Lightning and it does end up working, could Bitcoin be the one crypto to rule them all? It's a store of value. It's digital gold. It's a hedge against inflation. It's got the strongest network. It's backed by the best technology. It's the most decentralized. And now you can run smart contracts on top of it without clogging the network. I don't know. What do you think, Rocco? Could Bitcoin be the one token, the one coin to rule them all? Your mic is off, by the way.
See if I can get the split camera. So for now, maybe 50 years from now, I don't think so. I just like the narrative of MySpace. It was the biggest, the best, the only one. And then it disappeared. So
then it goes bye-bye.
It won't disappear, but I think some other project, that technology and advancement will make probably something else stand up. And but in the meantime, we're here making money off of it. Who cares? That's my mentality, just move on, move to the flow, the yin and the yang.
Rocco is moist. Okay, let's move on to, I saw a lot of you in here talk about the new Apple headset, right? 3K. Well, this article, Apple's new headset could put a rocket under metaverse tokens. This is from, again, Cointelegraph. Apple is scheduled to release its highly anticipated mixed reality headset in the coming weeks, a development some believe could breathe fresh life into the metaverse industry. This trend was pointed out in a May 15th tweet from independent developer Udi Wertenheimer, who in a backhanded comment to the absurdity of influencer-driven meme coins, spoke of the upcoming release as a potential driver of metaverse token prices. In a conversation with Cointelegraph, eToro market analyst Josh Gilbert believes the new headset will set the markets ablaze, owing in large part to Apple's proven ability to deliver high-quality, market-shifting products. So, are metaverse tokens about to get a pump? Let's take a look at the metaverse category here, compliments of CryptoRank.io. So this is the metaverse category, ApeCoin. So we take a look, over the last 7 days, we've seen the top 5 metaverse-related tokens be in the green. ApeCoin up 3.5%, Sandbox up 4%, Mana up 7%, Axie Infinity 6%, and Engine token up 2%. Now, a lot of people, and I used to do this as well, you trade the trend, especially when you're looking to trade and scalp profits. Is this an opportunity to trade a metaverse trend? For me, it's a no. I think this thing is, it's not, first of all, it's not out yet. We don't know how it's going to work. It's not integrated with anything yet. It's just pure speculation that people are saying, oh my God, this means the metaverse is soon. The metaverse is not soon. The metaverse is not soon, okay? It's still a long ways away. And what we have right now is not a metaverse. I'm sorry. It's a Windows, it's a computer software. It's a Windows screen you pull up on your Microsoft Edge and you go in there and you pretend like you're running around. It's not practical. The metaverse that people are expecting, that I'm expecting, that you're expecting, is not here yet, and it's still very far away. But these are some of the biggest tokens in the metaverse space. The two biggest ones to me are Sandbox and Decentraland. If I were to pick a project to put my money in, of course not FinishWise, I would probably go with the Sandbox. They have the gaming side of it, more of kind of like a Roblox feel as far as it's kind of popular. They have real estate, a metaverse, virtual real estate in there as well. And so, Matthew Barnes said, we have to get AI to build a metaverse. And that's a real possibility. I think that's important. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to... Actually, Rocco, we're done. We're done. Yeah. Yeah, we're done. Yeah. Finito. You like Decentraland better? Why is that?
Pizza. They have a better pizza.
Pizza.
They have a better...
They have a better
People asked
pizza.
yesterday why you went in here, and we told them that you had too much barbecue chicken pizza.
Yes,
So you can
yeah,
make
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So this is why.
No, my kid had his award ceremony yesterday.
Oh, okay.
He got on AB honor roll. So I always try to be there for my kids when they have big accomplishments like that, just so they understand how important it is. And so, figure we have Forrest and Rob's last day. Spend some time without me so we can. They say that distance makes the heart grow fonder. So I figured 4 days away from me in the studio might make Robin miss me more. Guys, before we sign off, I want to give another quick shout out to channel sponsor Cam's Blue Wire Technology. Go to bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video if you want more information. Also, go check out our social media at Sin City Crypto 1. BioMX, thank you. Oh, also, yes, before I say goodbye, I promised Crit Cats I would give my take on the Ledger thing.
No.
I am not a fan, and I know some people are saying it's out of proportion, but I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. If you are able to extract my seed phrase and whatever you do with it, I don't care. If you shard it 20,000 ways and send it to this and that, I'm sorry, man. Like in that case, I'll just leave it on my MetaMask or my Trust wallet, or I'll leave it on an exchange. I don't know. I'm looking for a different alternative. I'm not a big fan of Trezor. I just don't like the UI. I'm going to look into Arculus. There's a few other ones I'm looking into. Once I find one that I kind of feel comfortable with, I'll be more than happy to share it with you guys on the stream and or in Discord. And so that's kind of my take on it, but I'm just so disappointed.
Even
man.
though they mentioned it's only from the X.
I know, but
You can still use the S.
man.
It should be
I think,
fine.
but here's the thing: once the cat's out of the bag, that they're able to do that, you just lose trust. I'm sorry, man. And a lot of people are saying they're closed source, so no one can check what they're doing. Forrest brought up a good point on the show yesterday. It's a revenue model for them because it's one of those things. Once you buy Ledger, you have it for 10 years. You don't need to buy a new product from them. And so, did Ledger build themselves? Did they dig their own grave by doing this? I kind of think they did, man. And guess what? 3-4 hours after this happened, I started getting emails from Trezor into my mailbox. Coincidence? I don't think so. Someone shared on Twitter the Trezor sales kind of skyrocketed. So, man, I'm just like Ledger was really my favorite.
Trezor is gonna say exactly the same thing.
Well,
We
Trezor
made it
had
from
that
now.
thing with I think it was CoinJar or something else
something
where
like
they
that,
can.
right.
But this whole why would
What's
I
that one?
KYC my hardware wallet?
That was the idea because if you need to recover, they need to make sure it's you. I guess that's what it is.
I think Frosted Flake brings up such a good point. Ledger should have done this under a different name.
Yeah.
think that's a great idea. But also,
Or a different
You
product,
don't-
completely
yeah.
different.
but
Completely
you don't have
detached.
the rooted branding already, right?
Find it.
But yeah, maybe do a test at like when new chains, when like a grocery store or something, or let's say Whole Foods decides to bring on a new product, they don't just nationwide throw it out there, especially if it's from a new entrepreneur or whatever, new company. They do a little segmented area of a country, whether it's a city or a state, and then they see how it goes, how the sales are, then they expand to the rest of the country. Maybe they should have done a little test run on this I don't know, man.
Let me ask you something. Now, if you have a Bank of America that comes out and you can now store your Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever you want in there, you have your account, your face, your ID, you have everything in there. So it's going to probably insure your money.
That's the thing, though. I think, and to be honest with you, if there was protection and not KYC on some of these exchanges, I would have no problem holding my my crypto there. If them going under, I was protected somehow, whether it's insurance or whatever the case may be, I would have no issue doing that. Right? They're a centralized entity.
I think the problem here is also the privacy. I guess that's what it is too, and
That's
the
what I'm
people feel
saying,
betrayed. And you can go somewhere else in another government, or it can be. I mean, you can be subpoena. Now
I
you gotta
understand,
provide
and I understand, right? Bad people do bad things. They hide their money, and the government wants to go after them. I get that. I understand that. But you're gonna make things worse for millions and millions of people for a small, minute minority of the people that decide to do something bad. Right? You get drunk drivers that go and drive their cars and kill people. Should we put breathalyzers in every single car? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't make decisions based off of the actions of a few. That's what I'm saying. And so to me, and I actually wanted to, I had this, and I'll probably share it tomorrow because we're out of time. But from the hearing, I think it was a hearing that they had the panel with Kraken's chief legal officer, Marco Santori or something. One of the people came out and talked about KYCing wallets. Could Ledger have gotten, I don't know, could they have been pushed by the government to kind of, hey, you got to start KYCing, you can't sell your product here. I don't know. I'm putting on a tinfoil hat here. Could that have happened? I don't know.
Don't this Ledger is here in the States, right?
Well, it's being sold here, right? People are using their products. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm super thinking outside the box here, and I'm pushing the button. I'm just saying, man, it's something to think about.
So the headquarters is in France, it's Paris.
No, I know it's a French company, yeah, but either way, well, we know the U.S. Doesn't have an issue going after companies that are not even operating in the U.S.
Maybe.
Let alone domiciled in the U.S. So anyways, guys, go check out our social media. We're on Twitter. Also, Jimmy gifted 10 Sin City Crypto memberships. Big shout out to you, Jimmy. Thank you so much. If you're a proud recipient of said membership, make sure to go check out our members only videos. Also, you now have access to our emojis. So with that being said, go check out the merch store. Buy some merch. Don't be cheap. Whale members, 10% off. Rocco. Robin's
Ready?
finger tornado was terrible yesterday.
No, but you gotta teach him. I saw you
He
gotta.
doesn't want to learn.
It's okay. You gotta do the move.
It's all about where it starts and where it goes.
Isn't
and
it
the
the wrist?
speed of the velocity of the finger tornadoing. I will show.
Go for it.
There's one thing I wanted to say,
Okay, what is it?
but I forgot. Oh,
Okay, that's good. It's a good thing that you can.
the outro music. We've been getting a lot of people saying the outro music is fire. I 100% agree. Big shout out to Cassius Cuvée.
Yeah.
Man, you are a talented, gifted person, my friend. So without further ado, Rocco.
Yeah, when I said just the BMX 199 super chat, Infolat, I was going to go my beats, Ledger, bye.
Thank you, Biomex. Rocco. I'm not even going to say anything because enjoy the outro music. We'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. Love you guys. Peace.
Cassius Cuvée. Yeah. Sin City, crypto. Everybody know we here for. Entertainment and info, gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in, for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David, I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin, it's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners, special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us meme coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya, to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO